Hi friends, today I would be talking to you regarding Dynamics 365 inventory visibility using Postman, where I would show you a step-by-step insight of how could you query your inventory visibility using the APIs. I am sure you all know what is Dynamics 365 inventory visibility all about. It's a add-in which is also known as inventory visibility service, and it provides an independent and highly scalable microservice structure that can enable your real-time on-hand inventory change postings visibility tracking across all your data sources and channels. So necessarily it means like you can query your data, your inventory data, just not to one legal entity, but across a number of legal entities, across your a number of channels. Say for example, POS, or from your any retail headquarters, or from your on websites, any kind of channels. You can ask what is the current status of a product directly by querying the inventory visibility add-in. So without wasting much of time, let me jump over to my screen and I can show you how could you set up your Postman to talk to your inventory visibility directly. With that, let me take you to Dynamics 365 Inventory Management module. Once you have successfully installed inventory visibility add-in, you can, as you know, you can do it directly from LCS, or you can use Power Portal Admin Central to install your Dynamics 365 inventory visibility as is shown out here. When you have installed that, you can come to your inventory visibility uh, this menu, and you could see number of new menu items that would be visible. So you can come here to inventory visibility integration parameters, and you can see like there are certain things that you need to fill out beforehand. Say for example, there is an endpoint that you need to generate, and there are reservation offset, enable soft reservation, inventory adjustment offset transaction. So all these things, you need to prepare, you get your things beforehand ready. And I forgot to mention one more thing, like just in case you need to get your inventory visibility up and running, there is an inventory feature management also. So if you go to inventory feature management, mm, you can select for certain features that you need to enable as well. So if I go to all, and if I go to if I select the features, I select, like say for example, inventory visibility, this feature. If I select, I can see all the necessary features that I have enabled them. So once you have enabled them, I would rather say like this module inside the inventory management module, this menu would start coming, and you can enable the various necessary setups. And lastly, you have to also ensure like your inventory management, inventory visibility integration batch job is actually running. So if you turn this on, so you would see like it is enabled. You would see as you can see from the screen, it's already enabled. So once all these setups are done, you can come over to directly to Postman. And this is where my Postman, where I have basically created a number of variables. Say for example, I've started with a client ID, grant type, client secret, resource, scope, context, tenant, bearer token, all these things. I've prepared them beforehand, I've kept them ready beforehand. So you need to start with declaring an environment out here, and then I am going forward a collection. So first is a collection which I have created, so where I am basically going to obtain an Azure Active Directory token. As usually, I am basically feeding my tenant out here, And here inside I'm giving my client ID, client type, client secret, and then in resource you have to provide this value, which is basically uh, mm, a hard-coded value of the microservice that is Microsoft's Dynamics 365 inventory visibility microservice. You have to hard code this as a resource. So this is always going to be fixed unless Microsoft rebrands the microservice again, and again it releases a new version of it or something. You can always get this from the the APIs documents documentary website. You can always get there from there. And once this is done, so in essentially I'm basically selecting the body as a form data, and in the headers I am selecting I can select this as I can leave this as it is, and I can then in the scripts I need to obtain the access token, and I need to obtain the value of this access token. So I have written a small script here, which is a very popular script whereby I'm just basically parsing the response body which I'm getting as a response. I'm just parsing the response body, and I'm ensuring that it is not blank or not errored out. So once I am getting this, I am basically setting this as a new variable called bearer token, and I am uh, and I'm tapping the value of the access token into this bearded token variable. So now I'm sending this value. So when I'm sending this, basically inside this I'm getting a new value of the access token. Once this is done, I'm heading over to the next collection, which is my IV token. This is the step 2. So essentially there are 2 steps. First step is to obtain the Azure Active Directory token by querying the login.microsoftonline.com. Then I am going to obtain the the bearded token, which is I'm going to obtain from the IV URL that is part of my of my inventory visibility microservice. This I am going to obtain the value by providing the the body as a raw body. I can leave it as a JSON type body, and in the grant type I can give client credentials. Inside my client assertion tab I can keep it as AAD_app. In the bearded token, this is the value which I have got from the previous step, and in the scope I have given the scope as this is also a hard-coded value. You can keep this as inventory service.operations365 dynamics.com/.default. You can keep this as a hard-coded value as well. And then in the context I am giving a context like this. What is this context? You can also leave this as a hard-coded value. And then finally, I am in the context tab, I'm giving this value as FinOps -env. So when I'm giving that, I'd like to show you what is this value, what is the inventory URL that is going to be, what is this, how would I get this? This is basically I'm getting this from the value of my endpoint /security service /token. How could I get the value of this endpoint? This value of this endpoint is basically the same value of the same URL which you could get from the URL endpoint that you have set up during the initial setup of your inventory visibility management in your Dynamics 365. So when you have done that, and in the headers you can pass it that the API version is equal to 1.0. What is this? I'm just going to tell you in a few moments from now, and I am just going to pass this on as sent. When I'm sending this, I am just again going to get another value of access token, which I have again written a script, and I am tapping down the value in my variable known as bearded token IV, which is another variable which I have declared, and I'm basically storing this value, the new value of the access token, into this variable called bearded token IV. When I have done this, basically I am getting the value of the inventory visibility token. Finally, I am going to pass this token into my inventory visibility, which looks like this. The endpoint /API/environment /the environment ID. So environment ID is basically, let me show you by going back to my Dynamics 365's inventory visibility front end. And from here, let me take you to Dynamics 365's application, and I will be heading over to the application. This is the inventory visibility. This is how it should look like, and you can go over to the inventory. I can go to the settings. I can go from anywhere. I find it very handy. So if I go to inventory summary, say for example, if I go to inventory summary, and if I go to the settings from here, let me open this. Let this be, let me go to the inventory visibility on hand query. I can go to on hand query as well, and I can go to the settings from here. So from here, I can get the value of the environment ID, as well as I can also get the value of the inventory endpoint, which I was talking about previously. So I can copy this, and basically I am going to go back to my Postman screen. Yes, and this is where my environment variable is saved. So the IV's URL looks like this, like IV URL slash API slash environment. Then the environment's variable, actually the value of the environment that actually I just copied, slash on hand slash index query. And the IV URL is basically the URL which I have already copied, just I showed you. Okay, so when I say that, this is version 1. So if I go to the header, I'll show you this is basically version 1.0. And in the authorization, I'm basically I'm passing on the bearded token which I have obtained from the previous step. And I'm saying the API version equal to 1.0. Why is this 1.0? This is because in the version 1.0, you can pass only one legal entity, and only one product ID, and only one site ID, and in only one location ID. Like that, you can pass on only one value of them. But if you send this on, if you click on send, it will take a while to bring you back the various values of the inventory that is present, and it will show you like this. So as I was saying, like, it is basically showing you the various details from the various channels, just not from FNO, but also from IV, POS, inventory reservation or soft reservation or on hand physical, everything it is going to list you out. So that is what basically 1.0, the version 1.0 is all about. When you are going to query more than one legal entity, so say for example, I'm going to query USMF, USRD, as well as I also would like to pass on INMF, which is another legal entity like that. So I can also pass on a number of other inventories also if I want. So like that, I can pass on a number of other inventories. So if I can give more sites, like site like 2, and then in more locations, more warehouses, say for example 23, and then 24. I can keep on adding like that, and I can send. When I click on send, it will come back with a list of the various details basically that are present. Say for example, as I was saying, like presently I don't have any inventory present for my other the other products, so that's why it's not showing anything. But if you say this, it will bring you all the details of the inventories cross company, cross warehouses, and as well as across locations or cross sites. So this is how you can query multiple products by just saying that API version is equal to 2.0. So when you say that, you can query a number of products as well as entities at one go. So with that, let me close this session, and I would like to ask you, like, you can also feature your API queries by using your own, JSON queries by using your own logic apps, or Azure functions, or from Power Automate, not to mention, as well as Azure API management as well. You can pass on this token keys, and you can query the inventory on hands directly. So I'd like to know how was your experience regarding your querying your own APIs, and wishing you a very, very happy New Year 2025. Let me talk to you in the next year, and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. With love, Subhashish.